Om. 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 Just to recollect what we were discussing last week, Swami is telling that we should see God in everyone. I think that's what we were discussing. He says that even if we find some fault with others, we are finding fault in ourselves. If we praise someone, we are actually praising us. Whether we say positive things or negative things, it all comes back to us because everyone is us. I think while discussing that, I think one of the points which we just started, we did not discuss much, was the fact, how do we deal with situations where we may have to correct someone, whether it be children or whether it's others. Should we see the fault or should we not see the fault? And I think that's what was the discussion. So I will pause there. Maybe I will ask the sisters to just read the paragraphs again once, and then maybe discuss this.
So the entire paragraphs on it from.
I think at least, yeah, I mean, the whole thing you can just to, it's a revision.
Okay. So, this is that path. Establish your mind and intelligence in me. If you cannot accomplish this and find it difficult, give up your egoism and carry on activities that are moral and holy. If even this is too difficult, give up attachment to the fruits, the consequences of all your acts. Offer them to me as Krishnarpanam, offerings to Krishna. Offering your acts to me should not be a mere vocal exercise. Take care that you do so by word, by deed, and by thought. Manova karma, as they say. Do you feel that even this is beyond you? Then you will be made aware of the aftermath. After saying this much, Krishna sat silent for a while. Take note of this. The aspirant for grace must have before his mind the act and not its consequence, beneficial or otherwise. That is the reason why Gopala said that jnana is superior to abhyasa, systemic practice. Dhyana is superior to jnana, and the giving up of attachment to the consequences of your acts is superior to dhyana. Such non-attachment, Krishna said, will confer shanti, peace. Bhakti and dvesha, hate, are as fire and water. Devotion and hate cannot dwell together. I love those who feel no difference between grief and joy, affection and dislike, good and bad. If hate is whatever form, in howsoever slight, good and bad, howsoever slight a quantity resides in the heart, that person cannot be a bhakta. The bhakta must be convinced that all this is Vasudeva, Vasudeva Sarvamidam. That is to say, one's own Atma is everywhere in everything. This truth must be realized, acted upon, and experienced. Hating another is hating oneself. Scorning another is but scorning oneself. Finding fault with another is finding fault with oneself. Krishna continued. Readers might be troubled by a doubt on this point. Can the mere absence of hatred or contempt of another endow one with the full consciousness of the truth of Vasudeva Sarvamidam? No, the mere absence of hate, etc., cannot secure the dweller within, and the ananda of recognizing him. That will not win the grace of the Lord.
Okay, thank you, sister. I think the last paragraph we will leave for now, because I think we may have to also read following paragraphs for it to sort of make some sense. But we will just discuss how do we deal with the situation of having to correct people, ourselves, others, or should we not? Should we not see the fault and just keep feel that everything is fine, everything is God, and then move on with life? I think that was the practical question. So I will stop here. I don't know whether anyone has given thought to that. What can we do? Even to correct our children or someone. Okay, Sairam, I'll stop here. I will open the discussion up. Yes, Sister Shivani.
Sai Ram. Uh, I think lately I have read, or this is my understanding, that one should not stay like a rock. If the situation requires you to react, or if you're in a position that you should be saying, so you should not be rock. I should not correct people because, it's me as well. But whatever. But at the same time, you have to internalize. There was a story about, I think, Lord Buddha, where a mother came that I want my child to stop eating sweets. So he said, come after a week or so until you correct yourself. So definitely internalize yourself first. Am I in a position to correct people? And if you are in a position to correct people, one should. At the same time, I strongly believe it should not affect your core peace. Like when we correcting people, it's wrong, but at the deep down, it should not, the equilibrium should be there. The core peace should not be disturbed. So it's outwardly what you are in the world, you should correct if you are in a position without getting affected. Sairam.
Sairam, sister, but just to put in the context of what we have read, Swami is saying hating another is hating oneself, scorning another is but scorning oneself.
Right.
Finding fault with another is finding fault with oneself. How
Right.
do you reconcile what you said with this?
As I said, that, that you have to see when you are finding fault in others, you have to see if I am in that position. If you're not, then maybe not correcting other people. Same with kids, that many times it happens that I'm not in a position to correct them because I believe that I'm not practicing what I have to say. So I have to kind of, until I reach to that level. But if I have practice and I strongly believe, I have overcome that this, I would say, trade or skill, then definitely I will do that. I don't know if I answered that question.
Okay, thank you, sister. No, it's all answers are good. I just wanted to see where.
Yeah, that's my interpretation of
Thank you
this.
very much, sister. Thank you. Yes, Brother Thasan, please go ahead.
Yes, Sairam, brother. So finding fault with others, first of all, we have to understand same Atma everywhere. So you are cursing that other person, mean you are cursing the Lord. So when we find any fault, if we take an example in Mahabharata, Duryodhana made a mistake. So for him to advise, even Lord Krishna went, even Bhishma, even Vidura advised him, but he is not prepared to listen because of his ego and desire and attachments. So, but our duty is, if we are true, words, thought, deeds are correct, mean our duty is we have to tell whatever we can improve the situation, or we can correct the person. Even Lord come to this earth to correct the people and establish a dharma. So, so when we find anything, we have to correct the people without hurting them. Thank you.
Thank you very much, brother. Sister Narmada, please.
Sarama, I think when Swami says, when if you're finding faults in others, I think one way we can look at it is also check ourselves before we correct. So by setting by example, so we correct ourselves if you're doing that, and in that sense, you are setting an example, and that's one way of looking at it. Another one is also, if the mistake is obvious, we correct, we do our duty by telling, but then don't, where we draw the line is making, like, not expecting the result. I think that's where it is, like, you do your duty by correcting or telling what is right, what is wrong, and also by showing by example. But how the other person takes it or corrects themselves or not is not up to us. That's where we are not we are looking, we're not attaching ourselves to the results. That's how I see it.
Okay, thank you very much, Sister. Brother Ron.
Sairam, yes, I think, and I think the other devotees mentioned early on as well, depends upon your duty, right? What is your duty? It's all basis upon duty. If you're a parent, it's your duty to correct your child, right? That is your duty. Now, assuming if you're in another setting and you have to rectify somebody else, or you have to weigh something, you have to saying it lovingly, right? I mean, there's a distinction between right and wrong. I don't know, that's my interpretation. Maybe you can go a little bit more deeper into that, brother.
Okay, thank you very much, brother. Yes, brother Sai Satish.
Sorry, Ramana. So I would start off by saying it is yata drishti tata srishti, as is our vision, so is the creation. So in its ultimate sense, if I am seeing the fault or mistake of some person, in some subtle way, that part of the mistake or wrong, whatever we want to call it, there is some part that is in me in a subconscious manner, and that's where I am able to see it. And why I say this is, we know that for Radha, when she is troubled by her sister Chandrika, she sees the person who is troubling her as Krishna as well. So till that state of realization is reached, it means very much that in some subtle way that part is reflected. So what Sister Narmata also was saying, we need to do like a self-check, a self-audit to see where we are in having that piece reflected in us. And what Anna had mentioned at the end of last session as well, how we would correct that mistake in us, the same kind of an approach should be taken in for the other person as well, with the same love and affection that we show ourselves. Can we extend it in that way? Of course, coming to Swami, if that way Swami were to, like, supposedly get angry when somebody made a mistake, when it was asked to Swami, Swami only mentioned that he appears to get angry. It is more in a corrective sense that Swami is um, uh, coming with to uplift that individual. And also we know the story of the snake which was told to hiss and not to bite. So when kind of a mistake and that kind of a wrong thing happens, the intention which we have inside must be more of love and corrective, though on the outside, when dealing with children and so on, we may appear to be stern or strict, but inside the whole attitude is of pure love and correction and going together, empathy and all of that. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Sai Satish. Thank you. Brother Ron. I don't know whether, oh, he just.
That's the previous hand, yeah.
Okay, no problem. Okay. Sister Aruna, you raised your hand, but you corrected yourself.
Brother Sairam, I was thinking like this, any corrections we do or we try to correct somebody, the Lord has given the path from the beginning itself. This is the path you have to, so your words, thoughts, you have to think, if this is something I am taking this path, so you believe on, there's you are not looking for fruit of your action. That is one. And as brother Naidu mentioned, it's all based on the duty. Okay, if there's the duty is there for you to do it, so follow which way you are going to say it is very important. You are not looking for any fruit of your action, and there's no ego. And see that you are giving that on the perspective of like please to the Lord. So these are the things I will be remembering. Thank you, Sairam.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Thanks, everyone. I think we have covered from various angles. Thanks. I will just add a couple of pieces of what sprung in my head was Swami is saying hating one is hating oneself. So that means when we are correcting, we should treat it as correcting ourselves. I think the fundamental problem we have is we think others are others. We are separate from others. But what Swami says is understand that they are you. So that means they are an extension of us. Until we cultivate that, we will never be able to function the way Swami wants us to function here. I know we have duty, we have to correct our children and all that. That's a normal tendency or normal dharma, I would say. Normal dharma of a parent and so on. But here Swami is actually talking about bhakti. Once we go to bhakti, Swami says sarva dharma and parityaja. You give up all dharmas and then you surrender to me. So I think at this level, we should see everyone as an extension of or as God. And if that is so, I think if there is a mistake which we have made, which a mistake in us, how we would deal with that mistake in us, the same approach we should take with correcting anyone else. As I think Sai Satish also covered that. Because the difference is when we try to correct somebody, we may sometimes put them down. We may, make them feel bad or make them feel regret or whatever. That is also an aspect which comes in. But if we think they are ours, we will not make them feel bad, but what action we take will make them better. The intention of us will be to make them better, because just the way we are, I think, if one foot is dirty, sometimes we have to wash it. We will not beat the foot and say, why did you get dirty? We will say the foot is dirty, we have to clean it now. And sometimes we may have to rub it hard also. But we will rub it hard enough not to hurt ourselves, but just to remove the dirt. So I think all that will come up, when we understand the bhakta is convinced that all this is Vasudeva. That God is everywhere and one's own Atma is in everywhere and in everything. I think that Swami wants us to cultivate. So once we cultivate, whatever we do will be right. We will do it in the best way, is the way I understand. So thanks everyone for sharing. All of you brought different, aspects of it. And I think put all together, I think it'll be fine for us to take and practice.
So brother, what you are saying, which is so right, that cultivate to see, divinity or, you know, yourself in others. So it reminds me of what Mahatma Gandhi said, then you hate the action, not you hate the sin, but not the sinner. So in that way, if I see myself in others, then I will not like, not the hate, I will not like the action, but it's not, I won't like the person. Because many times when we don't like the action, that disliking continues with that body. So what my interpretation I'm seeing is, okay, if you don't like it, you see as wrong in others because you are wrong as well, and if you have to correct, but do not carry attached to the body. So hate the sin but not the sinner. So that way I guess we won't attach to the body, it's just we see ourselves in other as well.
Thank you, sisters. Thank you. So if everyone is okay, maybe we'll proceed further. We can go to the next paragraph. Swami is saying, is just thinking God is alone is good enough? I will ask the sisters to read the next paragraph slide also.
Okay. The task of the yacht farmer who cultivates the crop is a good example of this. If you pay attention to this, the truth will be known and doubts will vanish. Before sowing the seed on a plot of land, the yacht removes all the wild growth, the bush, the scrub, the other small growths. But that is not enough for bringing the harvest home. The plot has to be plowed and partitioned, watered, and made ready for the sowing. And then the sprouts have to be fostered and guarded into maturity until the crop ripens and can be collected and garnered in the granary. Similarly, the thorny bushes of affection, hate, envy, pride, etc., have to be uprooted from the region of the heart, and the field has to be plowed by means of good deeds. Then the saplings of Ananda have to be planted therein. The growing crop has to be fostered attentively by discipline and Shraddha, faith. At last, as the result of all this effort, the harvest of Ananda bliss will fill one's granary. The mere removal of hate from the heart will not ensure Ananda. Love too should be cultivated. That is to say, uproot hate and plant love. If the absence of hate ensured bhakti, hill and anthill, tree and twig, mud and mountain, what do these hate? They have no dislikes, but for that reason, do we ascribe bhakti to them all? We do not, for that would be absurd. The bhakta must first be free from hate and full of love. Besides this, love must express itself as service of the distressed and the grieving, declared Gopala.
Thank you, sister. Maybe we will read the Telugu if Auntie is.
Yeah, okay. Sairam,
Sairam.
the task of Raitu means in Telugu farmer.
Farmer, yes.
Riot. Raitu.
No, but even in English, I think that word is there, Auntie, but it's not used.
It's not used.
Not,
but Swami means here Raitu. Raitu means for farmer. In Telugu, they are called Raitulu. Okay. So the previous paragraph also, I think I would like to read it. దీనిని విన్న పాఠకులకు సందేహము కలుగవచ్చును ఏమనా ద్వేషము లేకుండినంత మాత్రమున వాసుదేవ సర్వమిదం అను తత్వమును పూర్తిగా అనుభవించవచ్చునా అని వినుడు దాని వివరము. Then he explains what it is. వాసుదేవ సర్వమిదం. ద్వేషము లేకుండినంత మాత్రమున దేహి చిక్కడు. It's not here, I think. The previous paragraph.
No, this is the paragraph, Auntie. Okay. Just because dvesha is not there alone one will not attain the dehi, the one who is in the body.
ఆనందము ప్రాప్తించదు.
One will not attain bliss.
భగవత్ ప్రీతికి గురికాడు.
One will not become for the ready for the anugrah, the grace of the Lord, or like the Lord's love.
He doesn't deserve Swami's love. He doesn't deserve. దీనికి పంటను పండించే రైతును చక్కని ఉపమానముగా చేసి చూచిన సత్యము తెలియను.
For this, if we take the example of a farmer and understand it properly and look at it, the truth will be understood.
సత్యము తెలియను.
The truth will be known.
సంశయము వీడును.
The doubt will be left.
Will leave. భూమి యందు పంట పండించుటకు పూర్వము రైతు ఆ భూమి అందలి పనికిరాని మొక్కలను గడ్డిని తీసి పారవేయును.
So before in the field, before, for the purpose of planting anything, before that the farmer will remove all the weeds which are useless and remove them.
అంత మాత్రము చేస్తే పంట ఇంటికి రాదు.
Just because you remove the weeds, you will not get the harvest home.
తదుపరి ఆ భూమి దున్ని దుక్కు చేసి తదుపరి ఆ భూమిలో వేయవలసిన చల్లవలసిన నాటవలసిన పంట పైరును నాటి. ఓకే, సారీ, ఐ థింక్ ఇట్స్ టూ లాంగ్. అంత మాత్రమనే పంట ఇంటికి రాదు. తదుపరి ఆ భూమి దున్ని దుక్కు చేసి.
So we have to prepare the field by plowing and digging.
తదుపరి ఆ భూమిలో వేయవలసిన చల్లవలసిన నాటవలసిన పంట పైరును నాటి.
So after that, whether the seeds have to be sown or saplings have to be planted, whatever has to be planted, one has to plant.
లేక విత్తులను వేసి.
Or one should spread the seeds.
పోషించిన కానీ.
And one should nurture it.
పంట ఇంటికి చేరదు కదా.
If you do not do that, the harvest will not come home, reach home.
అటులనే హృదయ భూమి యందు.
In the same way, in the field of heart,
పూర్వపు వాసనలనేడు రాగద్వేష అసూయ ఆడంబరమనుబడు పనికిరాని ముండ్లు మొక్కలను తీసివేసి.
In the first place, one should remove the weeds such as attachment and the bad qualities like dvesha, hatred, and so on.
ముండ్ల మొక్కలను తీసివేసి సత్కరణాచరణలను అనుబడు సేద్యము చేసి.
So after that, we have to do all the good, just what are called good deeds.
Good deeds. అనగా దున్ని దుక్కు చేసి.
That means it is the preparation of the field by plowing and digging.
తదుపరి ఆనందమును మొక్కలను అందులో నాటి.
After that, one should plant the seeds or saplings of bliss.
క్రమశిక్షణ అనుసాధన సాగించి.
And one should have the discipline as the method of protecting it. Kramasikshana discipline.
అనుసాధన సాగించి ఆనందమును పంట.
That's a sadhana, and one should, and then ananda is the fruit or the harvest.
So next also is can I read it? Yeah,
we can read, I think, auntie.
కేవలము ద్వేషమును మాత్రము తీసివేసినంత మాత్రమున.
Just because you have removed hatred, that by itself,
హృదయానందము చేకూరదు.
one will not derive the bliss of heart.
మైత్రి కూడాను కలిగి ఉండవలను.
There should be some friendliness.
అనగా ద్వేషము తీయుట, మైత్రి నాటుట అని అర్థము.
That means you remove hatred and plant friendship.
ద్వేషము లేకుండినంత మాత్రము చేతనే భక్తి అని తలంచిన గోడకు చెట్టు.
So if you think that just because you have removed the weeds or the hatred, that itself is the end of the job. That is bhakti. That
అని తలంచిన గోడకు, చెట్టుకు, గుట్టుకు, పుట్టుకు, మట్టికి ఎవరిపై ద్వేషము కలదు.
all the plants, mud, and whatever you see on earth, they also don't have hatred.
But that doesn't mean that they have bhakti. అంత మాత్రమునకే గోడుగు, చెట్టుకు, గుట్టుకు భక్తి కలదని తలంచుట ఎంత వెర్రితనము.
That's so foolish to think that these things which you see, like the plants, the mud, and the stones, and the soil, they don't have, just because they don't have hatred, if you think that they have bhakti, that's foolish.
భక్తునికి మొదటి లక్షణము ద్వేషము లేకుండట.
The first characteristic of a devotee is the absence of hatred.
రెండవ లక్షణము మైత్రి కలిగి ఉండట.
The second characteristic is friendship or friendliness.
ఇంత మాత్రము చేతనే విడువక దీనుల యందు, దుఃఖితుల యందు కరుణ కూడాను ఉండవలనని శాసించినాడు మూవ గోపాలుడు.
So not only this, one should not stop with this, but one should be able to show compassion to those who are weak and those who are under sorrow, suffering from sorrow. Thus told Krishna. Gopala. So I will stop here and open up. I think it's very clear. Swami has said what are the two steps which we have to undertake. One is removal of hatred and cultivation of bhakti. This is a topic which not only in this Geetha Vahini, in many discourses Swami says, he calls it the vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasayatmika buddhi. Vyavasaya atmika buddhi. That means the intelligence or the discrimination of a farmer.
Just because one doesn't have hatred, he should not think that he is a great bhakta. Not only removing the hatred from our heart, and at the same time planting friendliness also, planting maitri and compassion. These are very necessary for a bhakta to call himself as a devotee. Sir.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Yes, Sai Satish.
Saravana, I was just going to say, like you were mentioning, Swami had composed that song, Satya Dharmamu Shanti Premalato. In that, there is this paragraph that comes, Hridaya Bhumini Sagu Cheyendi. So, where the translation goes in the field of the heart, you have this, what Swami has mentioned here, how to go about in reaping the harvest of joy. Swami gives all of the steps in that song as well. So, as you were mentioning that song came to me. Yeah.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts, please? Yes, Brother Tasim.
Yes, Sairam, brother. So Swami is nicely explained whatever we are talking day-to-day life. Help our hurt neighbor, love all, serve all, duty is God. So these three things are covered here nicely. Because even though we don't hate nobody, are we loving the person? If we don't love, the love is the God quality. So you have to, how you can love the person? Love all, serve all. With the serving the people who are needed, then you can develop the love. So at the same time, Swami is going through the farmer. even though he taking care of all the weeds, but they have to watch carefully their character. So the character is a very, very important that can ruin your spiritual life any minute, whatever you developed so many janmas. So we have to be observe that one too when we are observing the other bad 6 qualities, kama, krodha, lobha, madam, moha, macharyam. But the character is also very important in order to achieve the goal. Thank you, Brother Saira.
Sairam, brother, thank you. Yes, Sister Kalyani.
Sairam, uncle. In the Telugu where it says Atulane Hridaya Bhumi Andu Purvapu Vasana. What does that mean? Purvapu Vasana.
Purvapu means the first before anything else. That's the first step.
The
Vasanas are the weeds. Auntie, please go ahead, Auntie.
Yeah. Vasanas, the previous existing vasanas. Previous existing vasanas, Purvam.
Oh, so Swami is saying the weeds are the old vasanas?
Yeah. Swami is saying.
And Ragadvesha.
Yeah. Ragadvesha, Asuya, Adambaramulu. There is that Asuya, jealousy, Adambara, showing off.
And then what is Panikirani?
Panikirani, useless. Panikirani, Mundlu. Mundlu means thorns. Mokkalu means weeds. Tisivesi, take it out. Satkaranacharamulanu anubadu, sedhyamu chesi. By doing good actions.
Okay.
You are irrigating the land by doing good actions.
Is Adambara the same as like Damba?
Yes, exactly.
Damba is Adambara.
Just,
Yeah.
So the useless weeds and thorns are the old vasanas, Ragadvesha, Asuya, Damba. Is that?
Yeah.
Yes. Swami is equating them to weeds, thorns. Basically, we had to clean the field of everything which will not let the plants grow.
It's not necessarily one step after the other, even though Swami is kind of describing it in that way.
He's telling Purva, I think he's telling us first we have to do this. Vasanal Ragadvesh, Vasalan do. That means he's even equating the Vasanas to be Ragadvesha, Asuya, Adambara, Anavadu, means which are called these. Vasanas which are called Raga, Dvesha, Asuya, Adambara, all that. And then he says Panikirani. He equating them to Mundla, that is thorns, Mokkalanu, which is weeds, Tisivesi, removing them. So,
and then only doing good deeds, and then planting the seed of Ananda.
Yeah, you can't plant before you remove the weeds. Of course, after you plant, also weeds can crop up. As Brother Dasan said, we should watch, vigilant. We should watch out and remove as soon as we find something. So weed control, Swami is calling it Kramasikshana, discipline of sadhana. That also Swami is Kramasikshana anusadhana saginchina. So that means vigilance and discipline. Swami that is a sadhanas which we perform.
Sairam.
Sairam, Auntie.
Bhumiyandu panta pandinchutaku purvamu. That means before we start
planting.
Before cultivating the land, Raitu, that farmer, Bhumiyanduli panikirani mukkalnu gaddinu teesi parveyanu. That's how he has to do. And where did it come? Vasana, we said something
after that, Auntie. After that, Nati Leka Vitulanu Vesi, Posinjana Kani, Panta Intiki Cheradu, Kada, Atulani.
Hridaya Bhumi and the Purva Vasana. There, Swami means that existing.
Yes, I see.
The old Vasanas, which we have in our mind. There he means that Purva Vasana.
In the
So
earlier, he says Purvamu, so I thought in a similar manner, Swami
No,
is
no.
telling.
Here, Purvapu Vasanalu.
Okay.
Vasana, Raga, Dvesha. They all exist in us.
So I'm just asking because it seems counter to kind of what we normally do. I mean, we try to do all three, I guess. We try to do good actions and plant ananda and remove the weeds. Because if we just focus on removing the weeds, we'll be doing that our whole life. Probably we're trying to remove all raga dvesha.
But I think it should be reasonably clear field before we plant. So I think that's an initial work which has to start there. But that does not stop because the weeds will grow again. I think in Sandhya Nivarni or Prema Vahini, we read that Swami says remove it, and then when something comes, you pluck it out also. He says, to start off, we have to clean it. Today in our center, we were doing a study circle in which Swami says, for New Year, he's telling you have to cultivate new feelings for you to reap good things. But he says before that, you can't put anything new unless you throw away the old and the rotten. He says Patha, Ani, and Rotha. So the old and the rotten ones have to be first thrown out. Then there is room for you to put something new.
Of course.
So that same idea Swami says in a Padyam also, he says, Kali Kaka, without the head being emptied, one cannot, ila sukritamu nimpanaguna, Swami says. Okay. So if there is something in the head, you can't put good thoughts. So first you have to empty the head before you. So I think to some extent there has to be some cleaning. Before that, if you plant, that's like overseeding. Here they have this concept of overseeding. You throw enough seeds that the weeds will not grow. That's also a tactic. Maybe we can try, but I'll stop here. Yes, it's Ananthi.
Sairam, and I also thought Sister Kalyani has already wrote in that point, maybe the removal of the hate, sometimes it may take a birth, to clean up gradually, little by little, and then we may need another good birth plant the love, that's why we have to wait even to enjoy the bliss, maybe multiple births. And I also, another thought I have had in my mind, in this particular passages or in the chapter, Swami is telling, or the Lord Krishna is telling that maybe the out of 5 human values, in this particular one, the Brahma and the Ahimsa, those two are addressed in this particular passage. In the truth, righteousness, and the peace, those 3 left out, and the love and the non-violence, and the Brahma and the Ahimsa part, it has brought into this passage to explain what we should be doing, maybe at the end, for a human being, these 2 are important to tell that maybe it has come in that way, even though we have to be truthful, maintain the right conduct, and we will achieve the peace. But these 2 would be much more fruitful or much more effective than the other 2. Maybe if someone sheds some light in why we have really focused on the compassion and the hatredness in the Ahimsa and the Brahma. Those 2 have been given more prominence in this one, almost closer to the end of the Bhagavad Gita. So my thinking is maybe as a human being, we have to apply these two in our life, in order to self-transform or self-realize ourselves. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you, sister. We are exactly 2/3 of the way in the Bhagavad Gita. So that's that. And I will open it up for others. Anyone who would like to comment on Sister Anand's question. But if you be ready for it, I will ask Sister Aruna. She has raised her hand. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Brother, here Swami has taken this example of farmer, right? How that's the way we have to cultivate things. So in this, Swami says to remove the weeds first. If we can try to understand everything that was given here, then it will have a clear idea. Like, before sowing the seed, plot up the land, then remove all wild growth. What is the bush? The small growth is small weeds coming back again. Then he's talking about the partitioning, water, those kind of little things. If we get into the details, I think it would be nice for
Okay.
us. Okay, thank you, Sarah.
Thank you. Yes, Sai Satish.
Hi, Ramana. So I was just looking up based on what Sister Aruna had asked on Swami's song, which very clearly describes the whole thing, where he says, Hridaya Bhumulu Sagu Cheyandi, cultivate the lands of your hearts, me Manasanu Madagaka Gudamule Yaddul, with your mind as the plow, good qualities as the bullocks. Vivekamanu Chala Kolamutisi, discrimination as the whip. Vishala Magu Mi Hridayamu Dundudu. Plow the extensive lands of your hearts. Manava Dairyame Manchi Yeruvuga. Mainly, courage is the good manure. Prema Dharale Panta Vittuluga. The streams of love are the seeds to be sown. Bhakte Varshamu. Devotion is the rain. Bhavame Kalupulu. Remove the weeds of unwanted ideas, emotions. Brahmanandame Pandedi Panta, and reap the rich harvest of Brahmananda, which is divine bliss. So literally in that song, Satya Dharmamu Shanti Premalato, these two paragraphs come, which clearly say, cultivate the lands of your hearts with your mind as the plow, good qualities as the bullocks, discrimination as the whip, plow the land of your heart, using the courage of good manure, the stream of love, which is to be sown as the seeds, devotion being the rain, remove the seeds of unwanted ideas and emotions, and reap the rich harvest of Brahmananda or divine bliss. So like I was just looking at what Swami had given in that paragraph and the song, these two paragraphs completely cover the whole process of what needs to be done and what are the things that.
And the last sentence, besides his love must express itself as service of the distressed and the grieving. Swami here says, Kashta Sukamalu Karmal Anukandi. If somebody is in distress, don't tell that it's your karma, go through it. Don't say that. Swami says, Mana ishta lobamul kashtam onandi, pattu vidavaka a padamul golchina. If you pray to the Lord and without any holding on to his feet, gattu cherchuta tana patte, Swami will definitely take you across. So especially this kashta sukamalu karmal anakandi, we always come across this thing, when we see somebody going through some suffering or some problem, oh, it is his luck, it is his karma. Don't say that. Swami is telling here. Show your compassion and ask him to get hold of the Lord's feet, he will definitely take care of it. So I'm just completing that song which Sai Satish started. Sai Ram.
Thank you, Auntie. Thank you. Yeah, I'm reminded of the song which the Gopikas sing also, which Swami says. Like Premanguram, Prema Sudha Varshamu Varshimpaga Prema Nadul Pravahimpaga.
Murali Ganamu Cheyagadeno.
Also but they are actually, everything is love. You know, so he says, in the heart of barren land of our heart, you know, let the showers of love fall and let it flow like a river. And things like that, Swami is saying. So it's all about love. I think that Sister Anandi's question is outstanding. Yes, Brother Ron, you can.
Sairam, when I go back to the Gita, I think I read somewhere where Lord Krishna tells Arjuna, your mind can be your best friend or your worst enemy, right?
Yeah.
So when I look at that, and I'm looking at it in context of what we have over here and what Swami says, right? I'm thinking it's all got to do with your mind, right? You have to control your mind. And I think one of the vehicles we have that, it's through constant introspection. It's not a one-time thing only. Continuously, we have to introspect. And that's the way we could probably cultivate our mind. Sairam.
Yeah. Thank you, brother. Swami says that's the whip. Your discrimination and constant inquiry is the whip we have to apply on the mind.
Yeah.
Yes, thank you. Sister Anandi had asked, why is Swami neglecting truth, dharma, satya, dharma, shanti? They just pay attention to it.
The song starts with Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Premalato.
Yeah, that's a song which is. But here, I think Sister's question is, why is Swami not mentioning them here? So, if anyone has, Brother Thasan, please go ahead.
Yes, Sairam, brother. In order to bring the love, you have to behave truth, right contact, non-violence. Then only you can bring the love. Then the peace will come. So in order to do that one, you can ask how we can do that one. Then we are doing Lord's work. Then we are practicing the equanimity. So that means our mind is going to be calm. When the mind is calm, you can enjoy the bliss. So the love is an important thing. Yeah, when the love comes, everything's you practice already. Thank you, Sairam, brother.
Thank you, brother. Thank you, Sairam, sir. Anyone else would like to share any thoughts?
These values Swami has said is overlaps each other. If you take Satya, then Dharma is followed by it. And so it need not be separately taken. They all are together and they give the, even though it's mentioned Satya, Dharma, Shanti, Prema, Ahimsa, it's given separately, but they all overlap each other. They're called the values. That's what I feel. Sairam.
Thank you very much, Auntie. Anyone else has something to add? Sister Ananti, Swami has said, love is the undercurrent of everything. He says, love by word is truth. Love in your heart, you know, your feelings is Shanti. Love in action is Dharma.
Dharma.
So prema's manifestation in thought, word, and deed are the three which Swami seems to have left out. So once the love which is in the heart is there, we fill that. Swami, I think there are enough discourses where Swami says, once you fill your heart with love, your thoughts, your action, and your word, all three will be Shanti, Dharma, and Satya. So the Swami is going directly to the source, which is the heart. That's why Hridaya Bhumi, you know, that's what, you know, you cultivate in your head, in your heart. Once you cultivate the heart, the harvest of love, when it flows out through word, deed, and thought, you will have Satya, Dharma, and Shanti.
And the Swami also mentioned that maybe in another discourse I read that essence of Veda, even though uh, we don't read anything about the Vedic scriptures or something, but the essence of the Veda is Swami brought into 4 words, the love all, serve all. That is the maybe equivalent to uh, the Brahma, and help ever, hurt never. It's about the non-violence, or the ahimsa part. So uh, maybe now I better understand that although other 3 human values already inbuilt in these, and these are the 2, the other 3 human values, the truth, truth, love, and peace, those things, it's coming, it's inbuilt within us, whether I am truth or not, it's only within me. The others may or may not identify whether I am a truthful person. It's only to me know whether I am truthful or peace. Also, it's within me. uh, the other person cannot identify. And the love also, love maybe other persons, it can be shown or it can be identified. But these 3, it's within me. Other 2, it could be uh, expressed or described in action, maybe that the difference I got it, these 3 inbuilt into get to those 2, it's really in actions, the others will be benefiting from those. These 3 is for me, kind of. Thank you so much. And I also wanted to bring another point that I also thought about that, whether someone either should correct or not. Uh, I apply to myself, whether uh, if we made something wrong, and if we have done something, that shouldn't be done at all, we will be come up with, we will be bringing so many reasons to justify why I have done it. Maybe I was in that the very difficult situation and those things, and we will come up with a very, very mild punishment or something to us. Maybe that is the reason. Maybe we have to, we should correct, but the other people, they have already nicely mentioned that we have to have utmost compassion when we correct them, or when we the tell something to other people. We have to be really thoughtful and utmost compassion, whether if I am in that situation, if it is hurtful and if it is going to affect my entire life, I wouldn't even disclose or anything. Maybe similar thing, we should do that for the other person too. That's really a takeaway for me to today's session. Thank you. Thank you so much.
You're welcome, sister. Thank you very much. Thank you. Sister
Sairam,
Aruna?
Sairam, brother.
Yes, sister.
Okay. The thing is that affection is in the first line of the, I think, the second paragraph. Similarly, the thorny bushes of affection. Is affection is right, or attachment?
I think Swami has used the word raga and dvesha, sister. Raga has been translated as, raga is actually a like, or you liking somebody's raga. So they have used the word affection, and dvesha has been used as hate.
So you think the affection also is some kind of enemy within you? Attachment we know, affection cannot be, right? That's
Sister,
that is a
affection.
part of love.
No. Love is, it's okay. Then we come back to what is love. What do you think is love? We have discussed this love long.
Affection you are treating as an attachment?
Sister, Swami spoke about love. That was the first thing, chapter 19 or chapter 18. We spoke about love. And Swami says we should not fritter away love with all other channels. One of them is affection. I don't know whether you all remember. Maybe we have to go back and read. So see, Swami gave the explain. He said love means, so it's only love for God, which is love.
Yes.
Okay. Everything else is negative territory. As you know, brother, I think Ron was saying, it's all externally focused. You know, people, things, situations. Swami gives multiple names.
So love must be expressed here, right? At the end of the word. So how that is going to be then?
Okay, what is love? I think that's a discussion we will have, sister. I will first ask.
Okay, that's fine then. Because
I think love and affection
must be expressed it as self-service. Affection should be there. So affection is treated at like an attachment then.
Even compassion should not be with attachment. Compassion also should not be with attachment. Otherwise, we'll become Jadabarda. We'll come back to that, sister.
So one more question, brother.
No, okay.
Partitioned and watered and made ready for the sowing. That part, when after discussion, we'll see whether we can get to that also, please. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, sister.
Thank you, Sarah.
Yes, I, Satish.
Sarah, I just wanted to ask you, what does literally Adveshta translate as? Does hatred cover it, or is it more than that?
Hey, see, in English, there is no real equivalent. You know, Swami, Dvesha is envy or envy. It starts with envy and there are different degrees, is my understanding. Okay, it starts as envy, ends up as hatred. Okay. It's a continuum.
Okay, because I got that part where you said about love as thought, word, and deed. But yes, it starts, the first step again, it goes back to the same thing of the weeds and all that. So again, the Adveshta, how in terms of how it gains the prominence. Yes, Auntie, that sloka muli, Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam.
So it's basically Swami saying Adveshta Sarva Bhutanam. That means you do not hate anyone. You love everyone as it's all God. So first is the Adveshta, you know, remove the Dvesha. Then you cultivate Bhakti. Because actually all this entire thing which we are studying is related to the 12th chapter, which is Bhakti Yoga. So it's all about love. Love equivalent to Bhakti. So Dvesha is any negative feeling. I think, is it the last week we studied? You know, Swami is even telling, I think we went away, you know, even with small things, comparison, you know, I think Swami gives those 3 pairs. I think Brother Varadan, I think, was the one who spoke about it. He said, Kalyani, can you just go back to the 2 slides back, please, if you don't mind? Sorry.
Yeah. Mind and intelligence.
See, grief and joy, affection and dislike, good and bad. We discussed this. You know, I love those. So, you know, all these 3, when we have, they are actually a part of Dvesha. You know, even at that level, so there are also affection and dislike, sister. Your question is also answered there.
Yes, yes.
Raga and Dvesha. So even if you dislike something, I don't like this, I don't like to eat this, or something, that itself is Dvesha started. Because that duality, once it comes in, that is Dvesha. So to that extent, you can say when you see duality, that is Dvesha. But bhakti is that where you see the Lord everywhere.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Yeah, we discussed this last week. Yeah, thank you.
Yes, yes. Okay. So if we'll go back, I think Sister Aruna's question is also answered.
Yes, yes. Thank you.
We discussed, Sister. It's sometimes revision is good. Okay. Yes, Brother Thasan.
Yes, Sairam brother. The next paragraph, when Swami is explaining about the hatrans, because if we take the plant or tree, it doesn't have the hatrans, but no like or dislike. It will give you whoever asks fruits, you can go and pluck it. It doesn't say, I'm not going to give to you. So it doesn't. But unfortunately, the trees and plants cannot get the bliss or anything, because only human being can have that kind of deserve for that one. So thank you, brother.
Sairam. Yes, Kalyani.
Sorry, Uncle. So if we just look at it as, I guess, three main steps, like removing the weeds, plowing the field, and then planting the sapling, just those three. So Swami saying doing good work is plowing the field. So I was just wondering what is exactly removing the weeds? Like, how do we do that? And in terms of planting saplings of bliss, is that just cultivating thoughts of God? Or-
Thank you. I think removing the weeds, I think Swami has said vasanas, like raga, dvesha, all that, all the Arishad Vargas.
Adambara.
I guess what
Adambara.
specific sadhana would help us to do that? Because I feel like
No, that is okay. Okay, Brother Sridhar, I think last time also he raised his hand and put it down. So we'll
I
have to-
pulled down. Thank you, Sarah. No, the Swami has many 10 times has said in discourse, so shall you sow, so shall you reap. So I never heard anybody saying that. Swami has many times, so you sow, so you reap. So it's very simple, like, and even if you sow something good, there are some weeds grow beside it, in time. So those are the negativities, right? So to take out, plucking out from the sweeteners. So that is why we weed out the negativity. The weeds are the negativity. So we pull out all those weeds to make this tree or plant, everything grow, to make it sweet. Let me give a small example, right? So just, I'm sure everybody here in this house, we all love mangoes, right? So mangoes, they look so beautiful outside. From outside, it is all look beautiful, shiny, and things. Probably we think whether this is going to be sweet or sour or whatsoever, but we cannot predict the sweetness what is inside. So everything is here the sweetness of where the farmer flowers, so you sow. So that's why Swami has many times that even in, like, in our own kitchen, when you cook, you have to focus and with love, and even the poison becomes amrit. So it's like that. So it is with your full love, you see that it is going, and somebody has to enjoy it, so you sow it with love, so that's why you get the sweetness. So at the same time, you go sow the negativity, oh my god, if the frustration and so many the negative thought in your mind, and you sow it, so you get the negative quality and negative plants. So that is why you get the sour mangoes. So this is the comparison, the way you sow and so you reap. And another thing I just wanted to add finally is that, we're talking about love and things like that. The way you behave in life will affect the treatment you will receive from others. So you give love, you get back love. Swami has been saying, what you throw, it comes back to us. So it's very simple as that. You give love, you'll get double that. The amount of Swami has given us love. So how much of love everybody is giving back to me? That is how you look at it. Thank you, Saram.
Thank you, Brother Sairam. Thank you. Kalyan, to go back to your question, how do we remove the weed was the question I think you asked. So is that am I right? Yes. So I will just open it up. How do we remove the negatives? That's Kalyan's question. Is it through sadhana? Is it through singing bhajans, doing seva? Am I right, Kalyani?
Yeah, it's because Swami said doing good works is like plowing the field.
Yes.
So I was just wondering what type of sadhana would be removing the weeds.
Excellent. So I will open it up for others to share your thoughts. How can we go about removing the weeds?
Sai Ram.
Sai Ram Aunty.
As we remove the beads, at the same time, Swami himself says, plant the Maitri. So good qualities should be planted there. Instead of the evil qualities which we remove, at the same time, go on developing good thoughts, good deeds, so that, the slowly and slowly, all the negative things will be slowly removed from us. That's one way how you can look at it. We can direct our thoughts in a better way, in a good way. So the negative quality will also be slowly reduced. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, Aunty. Thank you. Yes, Sai Satish.
Hi, Ramana. I see this based on what we discussed this morning, also in our study circle, and even earlier, as constant vigilance as a means, as the sadhana to identify the arshad vargas that are within us at any point in time. What we said in the study circle today, even as we see any of this anger or hatred, anything that a stray thought come into our mind, we do not entertain them. We do not say hello, because the moment we say hello, they come to stay in us as guests. We just don't even acknowledge them, so that they are sent out, kind of a thing. So that is a constant vigilance as the sadhana at every. It is literally like smaranityam anityatam kind of a thing, knowing permanent and impermanent. But then, even as we use discrimination as the whip there, it's constant vigilance at any point in time that we see any of these thoughts that arise, pushing them out, like how the ocean would throw away any blade of grass that comes into it. It's with every attempt that the more we are in tune with that attempt, the better we are in that sadhana of negating the negatives.
Thank you, Sai Satish. Yes, Sister Aruna.
Sai, brother, as I'm asking from the beginning to we'll see how we can remove weeds. I understand Mani Auntie's thing. In order for us to understand these weeds, we have to have the knowledge. So I think we have to learn the good thing. Then only I think we can remove the bad thing. So for that, we have to gain knowledge. If you are going round and round in the same place, you are not going to understand. That's I think the weeds will remain. So I think it's a steady learning, understanding those ones. And the vasanas, brother, also one question. You are talking about vasana, always bad here, right? We will bring vasanas too, right, with us. So that is something not always bad. So that good vasana will allow us to learn something. We have to utilize that. So for that, I wanted to understand after the discussion, I think I will come to know others' opinions and all. But how to remove these bad qualities, like I think by learning only the first one, and I wanted to see others' opinion. Thank you, sir.
Thank you, sister. Thank you. Yes, Sister Shivani.
So the question is how we will remove bad qualities, or I'll just give my example that taking Swami's name all the time has helped me. Whenever I'm upset, I'll say Sai Ram, Sai Ram. And in my family, they know, oh, you know what, either the bad thought is coming or she's upset with us, she's not going to. So that has helped me a lot, just by mere taking his name constantly. Sai Ram.
Sai Ram, sister. I didn't understand. You said at home they say she's in a bad mood. What did you say?
Now I'm famous when I say Sai Ram, Sai Ram. Oh, either she's upset with us or she's so upset with us that she's not going to talk to us. So that, to me, that's a service to my family. See, I'm not sharing my thoughts with you. I'm not going to scream. I'm just taking my Bhagawan's name. So they know that. Or sometimes a bad thought comes. I know, I'm a human being. Sometimes you feel a little jealous, or you feel a little very bad. And it's not a good feeling. So right away, taking his name or you feel a little good about yourself. So taking his name, it just vanishes away right away. Sai Ram.
Thank you very much, sister. I think Swami has, in his few discourse, he has said, sometimes the Sevadal, they use Sairam in very different ways.
Yes.
I'm not
Says, Sairam, like that, some people.
No. My Sai Ram is very nicely Sai Ram.
Okay, Sairam.
When they scold us in the Prashanti Nilayam, this Sevadal, Sai Ram. How many times should I tell you? That's what she means. Yeah.
I think with my kids, I say that sometimes. Sai Ram. And they know that, mom is not like it.
Okay, Sairam, sister. Thank you. Brother Ron, please go ahead. Brother, first you have to unmute. That is, we removing the weed, and then
Yes. Thank you. I think a couple of things here. We have to continuously be witness of our mind and our thoughts, what's coming into it. Secondly, it is to always keep God in your mind, in your thoughts, with Swami. And then it's constant integrated awareness. It has to be continuously. What seems to help, it is always having the Gayatri mantra in your mind and in your actions, and just walk with it, where the Gayatri becomes part of you. Those are the tools that I use. I'll be very interested to know what are the tools the other devotees use, because we're all learning, right, together.
Yes. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Yes, brother Tarsal.
Yes, Sairam, brother. So, if we are cultivating, we are very careful about the weeds. And even in Canada, even the grass, to maintain the grass, we try to remove one by one. Same thing in our life, we had to follow Swami's teaching. If you negative thoughts, it could be thoughts, words, or deeds, anything comes, if you come to a point that you can realize that mean, you have to remove that one, ask pardon or anything. And at the same time, you have to be careful with the 6 enemies and careful with the ego. Then whatever the things you try to do not good, that Swami doesn't like that one. If the Swami doesn't like that one that means you are improving your viveka. Once you develop the viveka, that with the blessing of Lord, you get the vairagya. Then you get the bliss. Thank you, Brother Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. Yes, brother Sridhar.
Sarum, yeah. There's pulling off the weeds or the negativity or anything. It's caused by the weakness. It is not the weakness of the body, but it is the weakness of mind. To give strength to our mind and remove the weakness from our mind, it is necessary to fill with the good thoughts, good feeling, and good ideas. So that's the main thing. It's not the body, it's a mind. So you got to control the mind. So that's what Swami always says. My mind is monkey mind. So human mind is a monkey mind. So you got to control your mind, so everything will be fine. So you won't get all these negative thoughts and negative ideas. No hatred will be there among anybody. So control your mind. So that's why I always say that when you speak, before we say something, utter a word, think will be an appropriate correct word that I'm going to share with someone, or will that word hurt someone? We have to think before that, before we spill out something from our mouth, that it is always should be loving. Thank you, Sarah.
Thank you, brother Sridhar. Yes, Sister Anandi.
Sairam, before we correct ourselves, so we have to identify the weeds, whatever the bad habits or negativities we are having within us. To that one, the last year, a little, the 5.5 years old shown us, it's via Zoom. She put maybe the big paper on the wall, and every time when he angry, he will put a check mark or little picture on that the piece of paper. And every time when he is angry or her family situation, little ones, it's like that. And so whenever she mad at her mother or very angry and upset, she will put a tick mark. And also when she is happy with something, she also put that tick mark. Maybe at the end of the day or at the end of the week, she will look at it. How many bad tick mark even with a different color code, and the end of the day or end of the week we will count, and even that little girl shown us every week how she has developed the good thoughts or happiness. So with with a little chart, the little by little, her maybe the black mark, it turns into green or the more green. Maybe I thought that the brother Sridhar also nicely put, even Swami said, even if you have a dirty dish in the sink, you pour the good water, and maybe at one time all the dirty, the dirt, dirty thing, it will go away, and you will fill with the good water. Maybe two things. First, we have to identify what are the negativities we have it. So only we identify, then only we can correct or we can fill with the good thing. Maybe that's the part. Even before we think about how to remove, first we have to identify. I just wanted to bring that out, share with all of you. Thank you, Saira.
Thank you very much, sister.
Now it is 4:24. I think coming to the Sister Aruna's question, partitioned. The plot has to be plowed and partitioned, watered and made ready for the sowing. That I think we should speak about.
Okay, Auntie. Thank you.
Partition.
Thank you very much.
Oh, okay.
So Kalyani, just to summarize our last discussion. So Kalyani, if they are grown up weeds, they want to use God's name as pesticide or weedicide, you weed killer. So that's the summary of what I've heard from others. We'll go to now plowing the field and partitioning of Sister Aruna's. It's okay.
Partitioning here means in Indian fields, the farmer puts a small mound of mud and divides the whole field into several squares. That's what I have seen. So the water can irrigate throughout the field in a proper ways. So he does this partitioning. It's artificial partitioning. It's not building any wall or anything like that. It's a small mound of mud which divides the one part from the other. And there will be always, when the water flows, it can go into all the parts, particularly in the corner area, so the water can reach there. That's how the farmer does it. I don't know whether here I have not seen. The fields are just like that. But in India, the farmer does it. I think I am correct. Am I correct, Arun?
Auntie, yeah, what you are saying is in India, people follow discipline. Here, people are not so disciplined.
Not like that. Not like that. The way how they practice their cultivation.
That's like the water is given evenly to all the plants. But that's what you mean to say that. I've come from farmers' point. Yes, you are absolutely right, and yes, because the water has to be spread equally and the equal amount in a level. So that is not.
That's right. It's an artificial small mound of a mound made out of mud. That's it.
So I think what Swami says here is, even when we do good deeds, there is some sort of a method, there is some sort of a measure which we have to follow, so that we do everything in a disciplined manner, sister. So what we do is, so you don't just pour water everywhere. You have compartmentalized, so that so you have draw some boundaries in whatever we do, so that for example, you find somebody, oh, I'm going to be compassionate, you give them everyday food and things like that. Swami will say that is not good for that person. So you would limit your goodness also in a manner which is very constructive. Sometimes our attachment is the one which causes us to do everything, or affection. So affection also should be within bounds. If it goes beyond, then it becomes unmanageable.
Yeah, that is right, brother. Because here says, second paragraph, plowed with the good deeds. Then now I understand partitioning is a boundary, you set it up.
Yeah.
Then the good deeds. Okay. Then what I'm ready for, right?
Yeah.
Then you, okay. That's now is flows.
Swami has used the word krama sikshana. So in the Telugu, he said use discipline also as sadhana. Yes, Kalyani.
Then what is planting the sapling? Is that not also namasmarana, or is it just
the thing is, namasmarana. So let's go back to that. See, sometimes we do namasmarana. Keep the tongue keeps on chanting. We sit and sing bhajans. Swami would say the bhava, the feeling is the seed. See, until we plant the seed, we will be only focused on the external factors, which are also good. You're doing good activity rather than doing something bad. But that good activity will not take root unless there is some element of feeling. And that feeling has to be planted, which is the real love, or as Swami would say, bhakti. So that bhava, or the feeling in the heart, that is where you plant. The feeling is always planted in the heart. The mind may imagine, oh, Swami is like this, Swami is very sweet, Swami is looking very nice, and all that. But that is only at the mental level or head level. At the heart level, the feeling for the Lord has to be planted. And that is the plant which will grow and grow day by day. So Swami is saying, even in that song, prema, the love, it's the seed which we plant in the field of our heart. In the field of heart, only thing which you can plant is not thought, just the feeling of that, pining for the Lord, having that bond with the Lord, connection with the Lord. It has to be at the heart, and that's the seed. Prema ankuramu, like that Swami says. The ankura means sapling. Saplings of love has to be planted.
But in terms of physical practices, there's nothing much we can do about that, I guess.
Swami has said, no one can give it to you, no one can buy. It is only you. Even a teacher can't give, even God can't give. It is the individual effort to plant the seed of love in our heart, which is bhakti, is my understanding. Yes, Sai Satish, I hope you'll summarize.
Sorry, Anna, I know it's 4:30. I was just going to take the bhajans as an example. So even as we sing bhajans, which is like the good quality, which are the bullocks, the mind is the plow. So we direct the mind to the field of the heart, and what Anna was saying, sow that feeling of love. That ensures that the harvest of bliss, like we essence the tears of joy when we sing that bhajan or thing, that is the culmination, that is the harvest. Even during the process of singing bhajan, that whole process of Vyavasayatmika Buddhi goes on to give us the tears of bliss. So if we can just apply that whole process, it's like one good session of de-weeding, sowing, and reaping the bliss. So that is a small experience with whether it is bhajan or satsang. That's what we do. So just wanted to say that, Sarah.
Thank you very much. Brother Thasan, I will have to weed
Yes,
out.
yeah, I'm not going to take the time. So I like to add to the point the partisan, but don't go far away from the jnana. So if you go the worldly side, then you're going to lose it. So partisan yourself first, closer to the jnana. Thank you, Brother Saira.
Thank you very much, brother. We will continue the planting and weeding next week. For now, today we will close with Samastaloka, and I wish you all a happy new year. Let the new year bring new lessons and learnings for us all.
Happy
Saira.
New Year, brother. Happy New Year for everyone.
Om Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Samastaloka Sukhino Bhavantu. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. Jai Saira.
Jai
Sai Ram. Thank you so
Thank you, Sai
much.
Ram.
New
Yes,
Year.
Sairam.
Thank you. Happy New Year.
Money Auntie, Happy New Year.
Aruna,
New Year
everybody,
to everyone.
Money
every,
Auntie.
Sairam.
everyone.
Yes, Sai Ram.
Saira. Saira.